Guys, the gods of football might have gifted Ruben Amorim, Ineos, and the entire Manchester United fraternity an opportunity like never seen before in the January transfer window. Dani Olmo, one of the hottest attacking midfielders in the world, could be available on a free at a time when we all feel that Bruno Fernandes could actually leave Man United. Welcome to the United of Sport. My name is Webb, and in this video, I'm here to paint a picture of an interesting situation. I honestly don't think I've seen anything like this in football. So here's the story of Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo, you might wonder, why am I talking about him and Man United? So this boy, 26 years of age, he's a Euro winner with Spain, a hot attacking midfielder. So he was a boyhood Barcelona player, but joined a club in Croatia when he was 16. Left Barcelona, they sold him to Croatia when he was 16. But after moving on, playing very good football, ended up in RB Leipzig and he became a world beater. Barcelona in the last summer made him a priority to sign him back, and they had to agree to re-sign him. They had to pay 50 million pounds to RB Leipzig for him to rejoin them. Now, they did had financial issues. Barcelona, as we all know, the financial issues they're still suffering with, they've got to deal with. So what happened? They agreed to pay 50 million pounds to RB Leipzig, but the issue was in registering the player because their wage bill, because of the players they have, these big expensive players, the De Jongs and the likes, big earners who have got long contracts, they could not register him in the last summer until they had released certain players, and it became an issue. So what they did is they requested, because they had glaring issues. They had long-term injuries to players like Frankie De Jong, player injuries to players like Christensen. So they requested to be allowed to register him temporarily until the end of this year, 2024. Now, the year is coming to an end in 2 days, and the period that they were given has expired. So Barcelona quickly applies to, again, to a court in Spain, in Barcelona, to be allowed to extend that temporary green light for the player to still be registered by them until the end of the season. Now, that rejected. Remember, Dani Olmo, on the temporary basis, has played 11 games for Barcelona, scored 5 goals. Important player he has proved to be. Instant hit, that should be. So, the appeal is done. The request for it extended. The court is saying, no, it's not happening. So, Barcelona are waiting for a second appeal. There will be a second appeal before, I think, the end of the year, before the 30th, probably, 30th. And everyone now has been put on alert. You know why? Here's the catch. Apparently, in the contract that they agreed with Dani Olmo, they agreed that in the event that Barcelona fail to register the player, he can leave as a free agent. Can you imagine, after them agreeing to pay 50 million quid to RB Leipzig? Because that's not going to change. They already agreed to pay the money, they must pay it. Now they've got to deal with themselves in terms of registering him. But there is a clause, according to the reports we get from the day that reported, that if they fail to register him, he can leave in January as a free agent. Now, this has left the whole Manchester on alert. Manchester United are at a point where we feel Bruno Fernandes can leave, honestly. We all agree to that Bruno Fernandes is not untouchable, and he's not even on the list of untouchable players at Man United. But Dani Olmo, a creative player like him at 26, proper leader, win of major competitions, certainly can come in there and bring that creativity that Bruno perhaps cannot give no more. Playing behind as the two guys, him and Ahmad playing behind the number 9. But can that that's not all. That's not all. Manchester City are also in a phase where they need creative players. They've been speaking about Florian Rees, of Viz, of Bayer Leverkusen and Germany. But if this guy is available on a free in January, you know how much City have been struggling without the creativity of Kevin De Bruyne. This is a player who can come in there and bring more creativity in the team, but through a different dimension, even younger, but also a win of a major tournament. Arsenal as well, looking for a winger to replace Bukayo Saka, or a guy to come in and sit in to fill the gap left by Bukayo Saka, have also been put under alert. In fact, it is said, what is interesting though is that apparently his agent has been on holiday in Manchester. So there are reports that claim that he has been talking to Man United or Man City about a possibility of him, joining them in case Barcelona fails to get their business done, or put their stuff together. So can you imagine? Olmo could be an available opportunity there. Man United looking beyond Bruno, or even a replacement for Marcus Rashford, who is not wanted in the team no more, or even a replacement for Garnacho, who apparently Atletico Madrid are seriously considering bidding £60 million for him, and United have not turned down the money. Guys, isn't that the gods of football serving Man United something, and then perhaps leaving the opportunity, rather leaving the ball in the court of the player to decide where he goes? Because like I've explained to you, for a free agent of the magnitude of Dani Olmo, every big player in England must be interested. I will tell you, it is only him who will decide and say, you know what, this is my boyhood club, I love it. Let me be patient. I stay as a free agent and wait for Barcelona to sort themselves and get the money and pay for me. How easy that would happen for a 26-year-old player. He's not young, not growing younger anymore. He's 26. That's prime age for a football to be playing. So it will be a very interesting scenario to see where Dani Olmo goes. But honestly, I think it makes sense for Man United. I definitely think it makes sense for Arsenal. I think it makes sense for Man City. It makes sense for all clubs that would want him, because there are not so many better attacking midfielders than him currently in global football. So that's the situation that we are in. And United, remember, are at a time when they are letting go of players and looking to bring in, but mark you, they don't have money. So if you can get a player the caliber of Olmo as a free agent, and all you've got to do is agree on wages, and I'll tell you, this is a player who can agree to take anything less than 150,000 quid, which would be peanuts for Man United. That would be little money. He can be among the topmost earners under Ineos. I think for me, this is a, a God-sent opportunity. But who takes the opportunity? We're hoping, as a selfish Man United supporter, I'm hoping it's Man United who takes. Of course, the first prayer would be for it not to work with Barcelona, that their second appeal is rejected. And when that is so, he chooses to leave as a free agent, and Man United goes requesting and begging, guy, come to Amorim, come to Amorim. But of course, whether you've got that allure now to beat teams like Arsenal with Mikel Arteta, Man City with Pep, and now us having Ruben Amorim, could we have that allure to attract such a player? We can all not know, but that's the situation we are at. But most importantly, of course, guys, the other report that I've seen, again, I think I hinted about it a few days ago in a video about court offside, revealing that indeed Atletico Madrid are interested in taking back Alejandro Garnacho for about £60 million. I told you there was a club they didn't mention, but in my view, I told you from my sources that I thought it could be Atletico Madrid. Now, indeed, the story is coming out and beginning to look more glaring that Atletico Madrid are willing to pay 60 million quid for Alejandro Garnacho in the January transfer window. So that's where we are, guys. Interesting stuff. And transfer talk is always interesting. But let's wait and see. The Dani Olmo story is one that's developing. I'll tell you, if Olmo joined Man United and Ruben Amorim for free, even if it didn't work, because there are no guarantees in the Premier League of whether it would work or not. But for me, that would be the deal of a century. But of course, it will also, for me, point to one thing, that the jinx, the infamous jinx that my brother KK always talks about, perhaps is no more, because that would be a proper blessing, honestly. It would be a proper blessing. Just imagine Dani Olmo playing with Ahmad as the two creatives. We saw Rashford on the left hand side of the pitch with Diogo Dalot. Those two were a mess. The two of them were a mess from the left. And until, of course, Bruno was given a red card, we really saw how he struggled together with Dalot. So you can imagine you put Olmo there and Ahmad this side and a serious number 9. Man United would change. Perhaps the Ruben Amorim rebuild would have a new sense of direction. Don't you think? Give me your comments, your opinion about it in the comment section. Interesting stuff, but that's where we are. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me catch you later, fam.